So we've got our turns. We're going to travel the same distance this direction, still looking for the ear to be locked on. And we may play with the gaits because we're looking for the rhythm but also the gait control. Now, as we do this, we get the feet under control, we're getting the mind. That's the whole idea with it. We're directing the feet. If you direct a horse's feet, that gives you a leadership role. That puts you up in a ranking. If they don't let you direct the feet, that's because they're going to keep you in a certain ranking. So with you, with Kai, if he starts to move your feet, like he did with both of you momentarily yesterday when he moved you with the shoulder, he will get that upper hand, that leadership, because he's saying, I'm moving your feet. And if a horse owns that piece of ground, that's how he gets his leadership role. So if they're moving them to eat and there's alfalfa there and I say, you need to move, Sharon, that's because I'm higher ranking. So if Sharon didn't move, pinned her ears and came right at me, it'd be, hold on, I own this alfalfa. That gives you the higher ranking. So in the round pen environment, what you're saying is, I'd like you to move your feet. I'd like you to direct left, right, slow, fast, up and down the gates. So you're looking for all of that, not just 4 signals. You're looking for the whole picture. So we change them back one more time. So you only change a horse twice in a round pen. To do this, bear in mind, you've got to stay on the page that I'm teaching you with one particular method. And then when they're back on familiar ground, because they've seen this before, now what do we begin to look for? Now it kind of changes the dynamic a little bit.
Dropping the neck, licking and chewing, asking to come in.
Okay, so yes, let's start with the sign that generally happens first after the ear being locked on. There's kind of,
Nose comes in.
Yeah, there's kind of different things. The ear's been locked on all the while. The second thing that they generally do, and it will vary depending on each horse, they will begin to come closer a little bit. It will change and look different. Some horses will bring the nose in just a few inches. That will be followed by a horse actually turning in all the way. If you don't get that hint, they stop all the way. So you need to pick up on that. When the nose comes in, we say, thanks for putting the nose in, but please keep moving forward. Don't want you to come in just now. They may also make the circle smaller. And this literally means I'd like to be closer to you. They may well circle. Your mare last night would circle closer. So she wouldn't put the neck in, but she would circle closer to say, I'd like to be closer towards you. Now, if you get an abused horse, it won't look either way like that. It will look different. Anybody got an idea of how it could look with a horse that's been abused?
Staying next to the rail and looking out.
Yeah, that's it. They stay next to the rail and they look out. And what they're doing, because it might be slightly different to looking out, they press their body in. So if a horse is just looking out, that will be different to a horse pressing the body in looking out. So the horse that's not sure about you will say, I'd love to be closer, but I can't quite do it. I'd like to try, and I will give you this part of me, but I can't look at you while I do it. Or I can look at you, but I can't really commit to it. So that's how the coming off the rail will look for them. So there's 3 different ways that you're looking at there. Now, what would be the third signal, generally speaking?
That's when they're loading it.
4th. So, third one, Gillian said it already.
Licking and chewing?
Yeah. So the licking and chewing is the third thing that they normally do. Now, where does this come from? And what does it mean? We're recapping yesterday. You should all know this by now.
Anybody else want to go?
Well, originally,
Sign of submission.
submission.
Yes.
They, babies do it.
Yes.
Like that. I'm a little baby, don't hurt me. And then
Yeah.
I guess they just continue through their whole life with, I'm relaxed by you and licking and chewing, so
Great.
submissive to you.
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust and submission.
All of the above. So it's called clacking and snapping when a baby does it. And you will also find older horses doing it. So if you we turned a 14-year-old quarter horse out with some Mustangs. First thing she did was clacking and snapping. So it's not a youngster trait. It's more common in youngsters, but you will get anybody doing it out of respect. It's a sign of respect, the clacking and snapping, because they're saying, I'm younger, I'm more vulnerable, I mean no harm, don't do me any harm. So that's one portion of it. But there's the other portion of the relaxation of the jaw. So if a horse is being driven and there's pressure on them, the jaw is generally tight and they cannot lick and chew. And it's no different to us again if somebody's saying something to you, or you're under pressure for a commitment, you're pretty focused and your jaw's tight. So it's a relaxation of the jaw also. And finally, the trust portion of it that you guys mentioned would be that they're a herbivore. Now, and if they're able to lick and chew, if they're able to eat, you can mean them no harm, because a horse will not eat in your presence if they're nervous. So some of my young colts that we'd bring off the range, some of them wouldn't eat for 5 to 6 months in my presence when I hand walked them. So the day that they did is, for me, hugely emotional, because that's the day they're turning around saying, I can lower my head in your presence. So they need the head up high to focus in the distance, to see everything, head down low to see close up. So down is the head, and they're saying, if I can eat here, that means as a predator, you're not going to hurt me. So the licking and chewing is a huge portion of it. And the final one, like Yvonne said, is the head lowering. So tell me a little bit about the head lowering, the importance of it again, and what it means.
That makes them vulnerable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like you just said, they're not up here
Looking.
worried about what's going on. They're
Right.
more relaxed, so they're bringing their head down.
They don't need to see far.
Right. Cool. What else about it?
It means for sure that they trust you, because they wouldn't do it otherwise.
Okay, they can't do it, you're right. And in the Colorado Horse Rescue a couple of months ago, we had one that could not lower his head. We did massage and everything, gave him some homeopathic stuff, found it very hard to lower his head. And
And as well to relax.
that means that he can't, you know, whatever his history was saying, when I'm in your presence, I can't. Now, first thing you have to look at is it pain related? So I was teaming up with another clinician, and the principle that he used was back him up. You know, if you don't want to lower your head, I'm going to put you to work. Correct principle to use. Problem was that the guy was getting more nervous and rigid. So he then had an issue with, I'm being reprimanded, and he was shaking physically, couldn't digest the information. So in that instance, that's not the right reprimand. You're not going to lower your head, you're not going to reprimand the horse. You're going to work on why can't you lower the head. What's going on with you psychologically that's preventing you to trust us? So we looked at other options, and we looked at the head drops and massage and so on to help him out. So they cannot lower the head if there's fear involved. They cannot do it if they don't trust you. So this is the last time, because many horses won't do it. Many horses will turn around and say, after 10, 15, 20 years of you talking to me in your own English language, don't walk into a round pen in 5 minutes requesting me to drop the head. Not going to happen. So with remedial horses, older horses, this is a sign that many won't give, and you need to really work hard for it.
Come on, Twinney.
You coming up? So how can we help them to lower the head? What kind of thing could we do at liberty now? So they're in the round pen.
You can't touch them.
Can't touch them. They're in the round pen.
The pressure off.
Yeah, yeah. So you're going to reduce the pressure to the point where you're encouraging them to lower the head. Now what you will do is you'll keep your feet moving, shoulder square feet moving to keep the drive going, but you'll encourage them through dropping of the energy, your visualization techniques, to actually lower the head. Now there's another piece to that that can help you, and that's to reward the try. So if your horse is about to nod just a little bit, don't drive him on. You know, if you're in there and you're using your line when he's dropped his head an inch, he's not going to offer that again. He's just going to keep the head up. Now, if you acknowledge that when he drops the head an inch and you pick that up in that second, he's going to drop it more and more and more because you're acknowledging it. So we're run through acknowledging communication also, so that you guys understand that, because this is what makes it pretty much unique, because you're looking at a two-way communication system rather than one that says you need to do everything I'm telling you here in the round pen.